Beatitudes series, it might be helpful to go back and review just a bit where we've been. We began this series, like I said, all the way at the start of Lent. So we took a break for Holy Week and the week after Easter, rightly so, right? Because we've said before, nothing, not even the Beatitudes, can trump the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Amen? Amen. But what we've experienced together over this holiday Holy Week season also has changed us. One can't go through the events leading up to the crucifixion and not feel the weight of sorrow and sin that shows itself so pointedly during that time. We hold up that mirror. We see in ourselves the way that we have abandoned Christ when we were most needed, betrayed Christ, and turned over those things most important in order to get that quick 30 pieces of silver. The way we have taken part in the trial and the judgment and condemnation of Christ as we try and judge and condemn others who don't fit our ideal of Messiah. And then somehow, on Easter morning, we picked up that same mirror and realized all the things that we've seen about ourselves before were blurred in the light of the resurrected Christ shining in each of us. The risen Christ is in you. We are all the resurrection, Jesus incarnate. Amen? Amen. Then last Sunday, Pastor Jed took that affirmation one step further, naming us not just as the resurrected Christ, but as Easter people. Say it with me. We are Easter people. We live out the message, service, and love of Christ in all we do. Amen? Amen. Amen. So going back again to look at this plan of Jesus, or God's saving plan for the world, otherwise known as the Beatitudes, brings with it now a sense of urgency because we know who we are. Before we were changed, before we picked up that mirror, before we picked up ourselves and affirmed ourselves as Easter people, the resurrected Christ, we looked at it one way. Now we see it through fresh eyes. And it's even more crucial to learn more about God's plan and how we can live it out. Now make no mistake, once we take this plan so seriously, people who interact with us will begin to notice changes in us. Something's different, they might say. People will jump to their own conclusions about how Easter people act or how they should act. They'll know firsthand what disruptive love looks like played out. Idealists, we might hear of ourselves. Dreamers, activists, bleeding hearts. For sure. Jesus was all of those things. So I'll take it. In the words of John Lennon, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Amen. Sounds like something Jesus would say, doesn't it? Because Jesus could see beyond. Jesus could see into. Jesus could see through. The Beatitudes help us to see like Jesus, act like Jesus, and begin to think like Jesus. And we've discussed this first half already. Be poor in spirit. In other words, get rid of your ego, strip away your selfishness, depend on God only, and everything else will follow. Yes? Yes. Be mournful. Leave behind the things that tie you down and tie you to the world. Grieve those things. Go ahead. Especially those systems that we're told will make us happy or safe or secure. Walk away from them, and God will bring you comfort. Bring forth new life. Then Jesus tells us the meek will inherit the earth. What is meekness? Be calm. Be controlled. Have mastery over yourself, your behavior, your emotions, your thoughts. Have mastery over all of you, so like a ship's captain, you can stay strong and fully present, even through a storm. Amen? And then Jesus tells us, though it will be rough, Captain, you are still happen, we are to have an unquenchable desire for righteousness, for things to be set right according to God's will. That's where we took a break. It was a lot to think about. What happens when we break down those systems? How do we not resist evil and cross those boundaries and help usher in a new way of being? Almost as if it were planned, Jesus provides us some answers. In the very next verses, the next step is to look inward, to the core of who we are. Here they are. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Isn't that easy? Just be merciful and pure of heart. Maybe you can get the mercy part, right? It's easier. I can muster up compassion for most people on a dime. Don't ask John. Mercy I can wrap my head around. Mercy means that you show or give something to someone that they didn't earn. In Hebrew, the word for mercy is hesed, H-E-S-S-E-D, otherwise translated as everlasting love, unending faithfulness. God's steadfast hesed means that God continually pours out grace, forgiveness, and love to us, even though we did nothing to earn it, did nothing to pay for it, did nothing to win it. And that mercy is never ending, never held back from us, even when we get our own back up and walk away from God. Even when we've tried our best but completely failed God, God never withdraws hesed from us. Amen. Mercy, as we see in God's example toward us, is more than just talk. It's an action. It's living in a very intentional way in which our lives reflect compassion and respect and forgiveness toward others. But it also denotes a power imbalance. It means that we acknowledge that although we may have an advantage, or that we're privileged, or stronger, or smarter, or faster, or richer, or blah, 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 we still offer grace. That's mercy. Again, right? I can understand the mercy part. Anybody? But then there's this more difficult part, this pure of heart, pure in heart piece. You see, I had been under the impression that fighting for justice, showing mercy, basically doing all the things in the first half of the Beatitudes would make me a better person, would make me pure in heart. That my pure heart would come as a byproduct of me doing the right thing. We see, we see what the right thing is, don't we, for each of us? We like the right thing every time we see it on Facebook. We like the right things, we dislike the wrong causes, right? We post a lot about the wrong thing, the wrong causes, the wrong people. We're great at naming all the flaws of others. It makes us feel good and superior and powerful. We want everybody to be pure like us, right? It also seems that pure of heart goes more against the grain of what it means to be worldly or mature. In our society, we are supposed to wise up as we get older. We're supposed to learn things, most of the time through painful experiences and not for nothing. But those life lessons can leave us somewhat jaded. Many times over painful experiences, we get duped in a scam, but you know what? We're only going to get duped once. We get blindsided in a relationship, but only once. We get betrayed by a friend, only once. Because after that, we're savvier. We become guarded. We don't want to appear weak. We don't want to hear from anyone how we allowed someone to best us because we were naive. relationships, or to gain a financial advantage, or a competitive edge, as we like to call it. Now, how, Jesus, are we supposed to stay pure through that? How are we supposed to keep our lives and minds and hearts from becoming corrupt or suspicious or hard? Well, I was on this trip home with my granddaughter, and I was pondering purity and what that meant. And last week we were listening to the audiobook of Peter Pan, as you might guess. If you've not read the original story of Peter Pan, let me highly recommend it. It's wonderful insights throughout, or wonderful takeaways and learnings. But the passage God tuned my ears to is this. So one Pastor Jen read to you this morning. If you will, just take it out again. Two things in this passage to me really illustrate mercy and purity of heart. First, Peter finds himself in the advantageous position against the fearsome Captain Hook. Yes? He realizes that he is higher on the rock than Hook. And the fight could have ended there, but it would have been playing fair, he says. So he offers his competitor, an arm up. My friend, that's mercy. Right there. That's mercy. We, as the ones with the advantage, make sure the playing field is level. And each of us can think of examples in our own lives, if we try, where we have had the opportunity to offer mercy and we did or didn't do it. Now on the flip side, you can think of times, and I know I can, when you've wished someone would offer you mercy, but they didn't. Showing mercy sometimes puts us at risk, but when we don't do it, you know what it makes us? Mean. It makes us mean. Anyone knows this who has not been shown mercy. Go back to the insert. Peter's mercy is offered, but Hook responds by biting him. He's shocked. Look at it with me. He says, right in this part where it says, not the pain of this. Not the pain of this, but its unfairness is what dazed Peter. It made him quite helpless, could only stare, horrified. Every child is affected thus the first time he is treated unfairly. All he thinks he has a right to when he comes to you to be yours is fairness. After you have been unfair to him, he will love you again, but he will never afterward be quite the same boy. No one ever gets over the first unfairness. Does this ring true for anyone? We get it, right? This is a perfect illustration of what we were talking about. We learn from our experiences. We become that sadder but wiser person after that first unfairness. But Jesus is asking us today, instead, to receive the kingdom of God like little children. To keep our hearts pure toward others. To expect the best. To see others, no matter who they are, as equal. To treat others as we would like to be treated. Look at the last sentence again. No one ever gets over the first unfairness. No one except Peter. He often met it, meaning unfairness, but he always forgot it. I suppose that was the real difference between him and all the rest. Now, while I'm not thinking of chartering a ship to Neverland anytime soon, I can't help but see Christ-likeness here. After all, isn't it when Christ doles out mercy upon mercy, grace upon grace, that we often bite the hand of the one who has given us everything? How often do we see ourselves in an almost sword fight with God when we want what we want and we pit our own will against God's desires for us? We, like spoiled children or haughty Captain Hook, pull out all the stops to gain advantage in a situation to assert our agenda in front of God's agenda. and all the rest. Christ doesn't see the jaded, hurt, selfish beings we have come to think of as us, or that we've been taught we are, or told we are. When God sees you as pure and perfect and holy. 1 John 3 says, everyone who thus hopes in God purifies themselves as they are pure. In Hebrews it says, for by one sacrifice God has made perfect forever those who are being made holy. We are not created, my friends, to become jaded or hard or judgmental people. It's not in our DNA. I've said this to you before. This is why we're left feeling sour and bitter after we've acted out badly. Because you know what's in our DNA? The heart and mind of Christ. We are co-heirs with Christ, brothers, sisters, siblings of and Christ. It's us. It's in us. It's just maybe that it's been covered over with hurt or pain or anger, and now it's going to take some unearthing in our hearts to find it, but I promise you, the Creator has placed within you the Spirit of the living God that is holy and pure. Blessed are the pure in heart, says Jesus, for they will see God. And again, it starts first with us. Remember that mirror. When we lift it up and see ourselves the way Christ sees us, when we see another as Christ sees them, as pure, as being made perfect, as holy, then of course we see God. As we come today to this time of communion, I want us to keep in mind how God sees you. How does God see you? At the beginning of the service, I asked you to tap into that part of God that might be calling to you even now. That is purity. Touch it. Feel it. Breathe it in. And let the Spirit of love and grace and compassion dole it out one more time on you. Mercy and grace. God bless you.